On the discussions being held at the Birchwood Hotel in the ANC's four-day NEC meeting, we are now joined by political analyst Professor Andre Duvenage, and he joins us now via our video link. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, the ANC is meeting this weekend, and top on the agenda is really the issue around passing that proposed budget by Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana. Let's start off here. It seems as if that the ANC will not budge when it comes to an increase in VAT. Why are they so confident that this budget will be passed, even though that they are saying they are still talking to other political parties?
Good evening, Bali. Good evening to the viewers. I honestly don't think that the ANC is 100% confident, but they are opening up some options, and one of the options is to negotiate with parties also outside of the government of national unity. And the DA is quite clear on this. If they are going to mobilize support outside the GNU, then we can probably see the end of the government of national unity. So this is really the most difficult phase we have entered since the establishment of the government of national unity. And at this point, it is definitely clear that there's no agreement. The DA is not going to accept a VAT increase. They will probably negotiate with regard to transformational laws. We think about expropriation without compensation, the Bella bill, as well as the national health insurance. So they are prepared to negotiate on a number of issues, but a straightforward acceptance of that doesn't seem to be on the table. At the same time, the ANC is very strong on the point that they are going to increase VAT and that they are going to force a majority in terms of the budget and get the budget through the system.
Where does it leave the GNU now that we are seeing this impasse? And, you know, the DA is also laying conditions to the ANC, saying that if you want us to pass this budget, this is what you need to get rid of, or this is what we need to discuss a bit further. You know, what does it do then to the GNU? Can we see it collapse if the ANC gets this budget passed by other political parties who don't form part of the GNU?
Well, Mbali, we can see a number of things coming from this, but maybe I must start by saying that South Africa is facing a real and a serious government and governance crisis. And that is not only political, that is also economically, it is socially, and it's in a way internationally. So there's a lot on the agenda. But at the core of all of this is the fact that when you enter coalition politics, and the government of national unity is an extended coalition government, then you enter a political game with new rules. The ANC cannot just force their way through. They need to take into consideration some of the other parties. And the question at the moment is, can they obtain a 200+1 support within the National Assembly? And without the support of the DA within the context of the government of national unity, it is not possible. Maybe they can do it with some of the support of some of the parties, and maybe a party like the EFF or maybe the MK party, although I think the MK party is highly unlikely. But what are the possible scenarios? We may see the end of the government of national unity. We may see the introduction of a minority government where the ANC, before every decision, they bring together all the parties, align them, and try to achieve a majority. If this is not working, we may see possibly an early election. So there's a lot of things playing out, but it is not a healthy scenario for the ANC. We have seen some of the newest surveys of the Social Research Foundation putting the support of the ANC at only 32%, which is their lowest support since 1994. So I think it is a difficult environment we are in currently, and what we need is stability, we need consensus, and we need parties to work together.
Professor, it's quite clear that the ANC will indeed be relying on smaller parties or other parties who don't form part of the GNU to ensure that this budget is passed. What do the smaller parties get to gain if they do indeed approve this budget?
Well, that is an open question. We don't know what is the details of the negotiations behind the scenes, but it is possible that the ANC may promise certain things to opposition parties, but within the Government of National Unity. But we know that that total is not going to be enough. And the bigger question will be, what will they offer for parties that may support them outside of the framework of the Government of National Unity? For example, the EFF, Julius Malema. And at the same time, how will parties react to this scenario, thinking about the DA, possibly the Freedom Front Plus, maybe also the Patriotic Alliance? And maybe one of the outcomes of this may be a complete realignment of coalition politics in South Africa. At the moment, a lot is dependent on if there's going to be consensus behind the scenes within the framework of Government of National Unity, and or if there's going to be consensus with parties outside that framework, and how the DA will react to the scenario.
And should the ANC accede to the demands of the DA and they remove, say for instance, these transformative laws, even though they've categorically said that this is something that they will not entertain, what will it do to the ANC's constituency if, they do then ultimately bend the knee and, they remove these laws in which have been passed already?
I think it is true to argue that as close as the old apartheid legislation was connected to the National Party pre-1994, just as close is the transformational legislation to the ANC. And I cannot see that the ANC, at least on the short term, can abandon the transformational legislation. What they can do is maybe open up the debate, take this to a national forum for further discussion and bring on board other parties. But I cannot see them distancing themselves from these legislation, at least not at this point in time, where their support base is going down consistently. Then I think they will rather compromise with regard to the 0.5% on VAT. I think that will be the lesser one of the two.
So what options do the ANC have here if its GNU partner, the DA, have laid some of these conditions? And of course, seeing this budget being ultimately passed, which doors or which room is there to maneuver around to ensure that there is a budget?
Well, I think that the only room there is at this point is to bring in support from the outside. And this may see the EFF moving closer to the ANC. And we have seen that some of the negotiators clearly stated that they are in negotiations, not only with parties within the Government of National Unity, but also outside of that framework. The other scenario is that at the last minute, they may create some sort of a consensus. The problem for the DA, however, is to sell this consensus to their constituency, because they have the same problem as the ANC. The ANC need to sell the consensus to their constituency. And we know already there are problems within the the broad church of the ANC. Yeah. The SACP wants to go it alone. The National Union of Mine Workers probably supporting the SACP. So it's a complicated and difficult environment.
Professor, thank you so much for your time and for your analysis. That is Professor Andre Duvenhage there. He is a political analyst speaking to us about some of the discussions unfolding at the ANC's NEC meeting. Of course, this affecting the passing of the budget in Parliament.